comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots. Welcome, sinners. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in, sinners. It is Thursday. Of course, it is time for Sports Idiot Nation, your daily dosage. We come to you twice a week, every Monday and Thursday. So it's been documented. Miles is way behind enemy lines. He is in Texas now. Been a little bit now. And I want to find out from you what's cool about Texas, what sucks, like be honest. How's it going over there?
It was a wild ride coming down here. So we moved at the end of January. It was very cold out, and we were actually supposed to come down on a Thursday, just like today. And we got a call from our delivery team that they were deciding to show up a day early. A little bait and switch on us, try to charge us more money, go figure. So we actually had to scramble out of our house on that Wednesday, and we made it. We got down here, and that was a very, very tough, about 36-hour window getting in between that Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. But getting down here and realizing, holy cow, this area is absolutely gorgeous. So I think that's one of my biggest surprises is being in a large metroplex. I thought I'd feel very overwhelmed because even though I lived in the Nashville area, it's a much smaller market. So coming down here to the fourth largest market in the United States, I thought I was just going to be stressed out beyond all belief with just kind of the living situation, everything being super packed and being a big metroplex, there's got to be a lot of places that are super run down. But so far, like the areas we've been, I live near Frisco. It is absolutely gorgeous, so much better than I deserve. So really excited about that, and the fact that I'm still able to work for the company that I was with up there in Tennessee, and now I got a little promo that enticed me to get down to DFW. It's been dope, man. So live again right next to Frisco. I take about a 25 minute commute each morning, dark and early, about like 5 a.m., right about the time this podcast is coming out, and drive over to Denton, home of North Texas, and actually work right across the street from the university. Don't work for the university, but work right by it.
So yeah, that sounds crazy awesome. Yeah, I want to find out a little bit more. But all right, so tell me about the Mean Green then.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Mean Joe Green, for what the nickname is, because he played at North Texas. And actually, that was my only time ever before in the Dallas area, Dallas-Fort Worth area, dense, kind of due north, a little bit northeast of Fort Worth, northwest of Dallas. And it was, I think, 2011 when I was with the Indiana Hoosiers filming. We played at North Texas, coincidentally, and we were just awful that year. We actually ended up losing the game, but it's funny because the very first year that North Texas current football stadium opened, we played there. I think it was their second game ever at that stadium, and I got to film in North End Zone. And every single day after work, I take a different route coming home because going home, traffic's a lot more hectic. Every single day going home, I see the exact perch in the North End Zone where I filmed. Coming up on 15 years ago now. So it's kind of crazy how that came full circle. But it's really neat to see that. And Denton, it's an all right town. It's fun. Wouldn't live there, but enjoy working there for sure. But driving back home to Frisco and seeing the Frisco skyline every day, it's crazy. Because at first when I started driving by, I'm like, I ain't that close to Dallas. I'm about 45 minutes from Dallas. There's no way. And it looks like it's a huge city. But Frisco, it's got its own skyline. It's got like an old downtown and now a new downtown. And that is a bad asset. If you've never been to Frisco, it's a must go to. It's actually the wealthiest city in the United States with more than 200,000 people. So if that kind of puts it in perspective, how nice you can imagine that town is. It is that nice. It's fantastic. Home to FC Dallas. They play in old downtown off Main Street, right off the Frisco Square, which is a nice little quaint area of the city. And then new downtown, high rises, beautiful buildings. And the only thing that sucks about this area so far is the Dallas Cowboys. But I knew that coming in. I was going to have to deal with that. But I will admit, with their corporate headquarters being in Frisco, not only did I want to check that out, once I got down there, I had to admit, like, this place is sick. And it's brand new. I think they only built that a couple years ago. So that's cool to see. Just trying to be objective as an objective NFL fan. You definitely enjoy that. It's really cool seeing, as being an extension of Jerry World. They dumped in hundreds of millions of dollars to develop that. And there's cool shops, there's cool restaurants around there. So really, you think about Fort Worth, you think about Dallas coming here. My favorite city so far to hang out in has been Frisco.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely didn't know the level of just, that sounds top notch. I really didn't know it was that big a deal.
Right. Right. And I knew that FC Dallas played there, so I was excited to see that. And my cousin, who's a big soccer hooligan, mentioned it. I'm like, cool. And the Soccer Hall of Fame's there. It's like, I enjoy it. I'm a sports fan, so I'm into it, but not a huge MLS fan. But one other sport that I do enjoy, I don't watch it religiously, but I always enjoy the Masters, the PGA Championships, U.S. Open, British Open to a lesser extent. But I had absolutely no clue, and this one threw me for a loop, that when I got here and I looked like one street south as I was looking through my GPS, I was like, PGA Parkway. That's interesting. Like, they must have a major golf course there. Come to find out, PGA of America is now headquartered in Frisco. And not only is it headquartered in Frisco, it's like 10 minutes down the road, even in like thick traffic. I live just over 3 miles away from PGA Parkway and the headquarters there. It's very new. It's obvious it's very new. It's a very wide open space, not just with the golf course there, but under a lot of construction because they're building everything up. They got a resort there that I've only driven by so far. It's really cool. Went to the Ice House. Of course, if there was a bar there, I was going to hit it up, right away. So check that out with the wife and the little one. That was a cool hangout. And being February at the time that we went over there for the first time, it was a little bit, dead. There's not very green, but still, even with it being the dead of winter, even in Texas, because it does get a little bit chilly down here at sometimes. It was still awesome seeing everything's, so spacious out here. It is. It may not be up north in Montana, don't want to disrespect that, but it still looks like big sky country out here in a lot of places. So that was really neat to see. They're building that up. I can't wait to see what that develops into maybe 5 years down the road. But then also I was curious once, knowing that the PGA of America was headquartered here, I was like, what events they got? It's not it's separate from the PGA Tour that's headquartered in Florida, but I was like, there's got to be PGA events, major tournaments around here. I was looking it up, and it's like McKinney, which is just to the east of me, just northeast of Frisco. And then Fort Worth every year has a PGA Tour event. So it's like, you better believe I'm going to be making my rounds to some of those events, especially when my child and future children get a little bit older. It was really cool. And then another time I was driving over on the west end past Denton down to Fort Worth. Oh, Texas Motor Speedway. They in May have their yearly Texas NASCAR race. So it's just like every single time I go out, I get to just discover something new. And that's obvious in a metroplex of over 8 million people. It's just one thing after another. Cool shit after cool shit after cool shit. And it's hard to find something that really lets you down. So anyone wants to come hang out, I got a 4-bedroom house, plenty of space. Hit me up. Let's chill. Let's hit the Big D. Let's hit Fort Worth. Let's go to the Stockyard. Let's hit up the speed track. Let's go to the the PGA of America headquarters. Let's even hit up, if you're willing to stomach it, the Cowboy headquarters. Like, you can't come down for a weekend. You got to spend like 2 weeks here to really drink it all in. But it's a good time. Dallas, especially at night with the Bank of America Plaza lighting up like the green lights, that's pretty famous. That's cool to see. But I think the coolest thing about it is not necessarily like downtown Dallas, for me at least. It's the suburbs around. They are awesome. And if you ever get bored here, it's no one's fault but your own.
Right. No, that does sound cool. I would like to I would be down to see it when the Warriors are in town. That way I could see Luka. Oh. Well,
hey, the unibrow, if he can get his ass off the bench. So that is one thing I didn't know. I knew Arlington obviously had both the Cowboys and the Rangers. They play in like the same parking lot, and that sports complex, that area is really cool, man. Like, look, we hate on the Cowboys all the time. Neither of us, especially you, hate the Cowboys, but Jerry World is sick, man. Like, driving up to it, I've been by probably over 15 NFL stadiums, I
Oh, at
honestly haven't
least.
been inside AT&T
Yeah,
Stadium,
yeah.
but from the outside, it is the coolest damn football stadium I've ever seen in my life. You got to give it up for that. And then right across the way, where Globe Life is, where the Rangers play, like that whole area is cool. And the old ballpark in Arlington still stands right across the parking lot from Globe Life. It is just super cool. And there's shops and restaurants all around. You know it. They got to get every dollar out of you they can. So I can't wait here in the next less than a month now when the MLB season kicks off. I really want to go to a Rangers game. They're supposed to be solid again this year. Hopefully take that NL West crown. I guess that's my bandwagon team now. You know, that'll be my AL team going forward. It's too easy though. They're a fun team to cheer for. I remember cheering for them a couple years ago when they won the World Series. That was cool to see. So that's one team I can get behind. But going back to the Mavs, I honestly had no idea where they played. And I was thinking, well, maybe they're near the Rangers and the Cowboys in Arlington, but no, they are like right downtown Dallas. So they are the true Dallas team. Um,
Yep.
so that's pretty neat when you come in from the north end where I come from, like from Carrollton down on the northwest end of town. I drive right by American Airlines. Like, oh, that must be where the Mavs play. And sure enough, that's where it was. And then just south of that, took my little drive. The first thing I had to do when I went to downtown Dallas, I looked at my wife, who's not American, so she had no idea what I was talking about. But I was like, I got to go down Elm Street. So random that you've never even really been in this city ever before. Because again, my only experience there was like going to Denton. We stayed near like Irving, so I wasn't really truly downtown. But I was like, got to go down to Elm Street. She's like, why? She's like, because Kennedy got shot. You know, got to see where the book depository and the grassy knoll. So we drove by it, and it's crazy to me because I always had in my head like the shot that allegedly Lee Harvey Oswald took. I always thought it was like, man, that was probably like a quarter of a mile or something like that. It was like this, like he was right on top of them, and like the grassy knoll, it's all a very very small, like maybe within the matter of like 3 to 4 acres, like really small condensed space. So that blew my mind. And then another thing, I was like, oh, Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street. I never realized the whole point of the movie being called A Nightmare on Elm Street was because Kennedy got shot on Elm Street. And the director of the movie wanted to call it Nightmare on Elm Street because he said America lost its innocence when Kennedy got shot on Elm Street. And when you think of the term Elm Street, oh, it's, very cozy and just very middle America and things like that. Well, when Kennedy got shot on Elm Street, it was a nightmare. So hence the name Nightmare on Elm Street. And that was something I never even realized, never even thought about. And then up here I live in Little Elm, and it's very cozy and very comfortable. So I'm waiting for something really bad to happen around here. No, I only kid about that, but my town is really, really neat, really cool. We got a Brazilian market here, so that makes my wife happy. And we're right on a major lake, Lake Louisville. It's huge. So it's a good time. Hope to be here for the long haul. So maybe in like 5-10 years, I'll get a boat and we'll take it out and have a good time around here as well. So it's like, man, this is home now, and it feels like home. I've only been here a little over a month, and it's like, man, I should have moved here a long time ago.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, a couple questions then that come to mind. Honestly, I've only been to Texas once or twice, and both times were through Dallas Airport and not in the outside world. Our flight got canceled or whatever, and so we had to go to a hotel and stay overnight, and then first thing in the morning, just had to get back. So the voucher was truly for like the closest hotel. So it was just a literal car ride from the airport to the place. And I do remember seeing a bug bigger than my hand. And I was like, get me inside now. And then the restaurant, I know there's like a Chili's. Yeah, I gotta have
Your
reservations
boys.
with my boys in the Dallas airport. That was the food we ate. So I didn't even get a chance to get like real Texas food. So I want to ask you, barbecue or what's the food? I mean, I think a lot of Mexicans are there, so then like I'm thinking, okay, can you get a good taco there? Like I don't know what to think.
So you're correct on all those fronts. The one shocker that I had no idea about, didn't expect, was how many Indians are here. And I'm talking like South Asia. There are so many Indians around. There is an Indian restaurant in the DFW area on like every corner. Like if you go to Canada and you think, oh, there's a Tim Hortons on like every street corner. That's how it is here with like Indian restaurants. And I'm grateful for it because they're super nice people, and they usually are like pretty wealthy, and that's like a major reason why all these suburbs are super nice in the North Dallas area. So I'm good with it. My landlord happens to be Indian. My neighbors are Indian. Like, it was kind of a surprise for me because I thought it was going to be like all this Hispanic influence. And don't get me wrong, it definitely exists, but it was different than my expectation on that. Yes, of course, barbecue is a huge thing. And the thing I'm realizing here, everyone I talk to, they're like, oh, where's the best place to get barbecue? And they go, the best place to get it is in your neighbor's backyard. Because the real thing is everyone does their barbecue a little bit different, and homemade is always the best. And it's great, like especially during the weekend, you drive in my neighborhood and it just like it's wafting, like the smell of a good old backyard barbecue going. It is, oh, it'll make the eyes roll back in your head. It's so good. And then like you got the major grocery store here is Heb. I had never heard of it either. But that place is awesome. It's huge. It's everything bigger in Texas. That is the case down here. And like every store, and not just Heb, it's like the Walmarts here, the Krogers, everything. It's Texas flags everywhere and Texas pride, and they're selling things Texas related everywhere. But what I love most about it is they literally have a drive-through at the grocery store to get Texas barbecue. Like it is a true obsession. And
Wow.
yes, we have hit it up. So to kind of put things into perspective, yes, they take that seriously. And then, yeah, you got taco joints all over the place, street tacos, this, that, and the other. It's a lot of Tex-Mex, obviously, because it's Texas. So we'll have to dive more into that scenery. Obviously, my wife being from Brazil, we've gone to the Brazilian market, as I mentioned. We go there probably once every couple of weeks, if not once a week, it seems like now. So that's been good. And that's been good for her because in the Nashville area, there was not much of anything Brazil. They had the Brazilian fair like once every couple months down at the Mariachi Plaza in Nashville. But here it's like, if you want to do something Brazilian related, whether it's going to a Brazilian church or going to a Brazilian restaurant, market, we got it. So that's been a good impact on her for sure. And then, the cultural diversity is exactly what you expect of it. And we love it for sure. It's been good, but also with that, different types of cuisines. No doubt. You can name the most off the wall cuisine you can imagine. They got it here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So we've got a lot of looking around still to do for sure. And I want to feast any and everywhere I can. I think so far my favorite's been Gloria's Latin cuisine. We'll usually either go there or the Brazilian market after church on Sundays. So it's good. We'll have to switch it up a little bit more here soon, but excited to explore. Indian food really ain't my thing, but when it comes to anything Latin food or Texas barbecue, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Okay, couple more questions. We are talking to Miles, who is behind enemy lines now in Texas. Remember to follow Sports Idiot Nation wherever you get your social media. New shows every Monday and Thursday. So I want to ask you about the people there because I think everyone talks funny and wears a cowboy hat. Can you confirm or deny?
I mostly deny that because, again, I live in a large metroplex. Like most people are from elsewhere, whether
Okay.
it's people like my wife from a different country or a Yankee like me from the north that want to get better weather and lower taxes. So yes, there are most definitely people that got that Texas twang, similar to the high pitched twang up in Tennessee. But again, that was a commuter or like a transplant city like Nashville. Yes, there are people that have the Southern accent, but a lot of folks that just don't. But one thing I will say is the people here are insanely nice. Like, yeah, they're nice in Tennessee. They're Midwest nice up in Indiana. But
Minnesota
dude, they
nice.
are another level. Well, I haven't been there, but yeah, we'll take that. But they are another level of nice and polite here, and it is very refreshing to see. And people that are complete strangers that will bend over backwards out in public to help you out if you need it.
Yeah, no, that is cool. Well, I'm sold. I'm definitely will come out and hang and check out the 19 things that you mentioned. So I need a place for 19 days. So if you got me,
19 things in 19 minutes.
this has been 19. Yeah. Follow for next episode will be 20 things. And we are at about 20 minutes. That's perfect. I mean, we couldn't have planned that any better. So yeah, again, new shows come out every Monday and Thursday. You are watching Sports Idiot Nation, and we will see you Monday. Okay, all you sinners, follow Sports Idiot Nation on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Like us on Facebook, and remember, the most fun way to watch us is on YouTube every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be updated when new content drops. Remember, the podcast can also be found on the usual suspects of Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Always remember, don't be an idiot.
Sinner.